So everyone was telling me about the VShojo stuff. I didn't look into it because I was busy. I was busy. Well, I was kind of busy, but I also like part of me like didn't want to look at any drama. So we'll actually take a look at it. So apparently VShojo is donezo, and I wanted to see what Asmin has to say about it, because Asmin probably has a lot of like industry experience with like kind of agency experience, so it'll be fun to see what he says about it. All right, here we go.
Time you left, it was the Pope. Now it's VShojo and Ozzy. Why do you keep doing this? Stop taking breaks. Hey, VShojo. From everything that I've heard about them, they have deserved this for a long time. This is a long time coming. All right, and so yes, VShojo.
So like, hold on. To be fair, I'm not really like a Twitter person. Like, I don't really like chill on Twitter or anything like that. So I'm not really in the know into like a lot of the drama stuff. But it seemed to me, well, I'm hearing a lot of people saying that, like, you know, like has been saying here that like, oh, like they had it coming and stuff like that. But like, I swear to God, people were sucking them off until like the last week. Like I guess my question is like, where did it come from? You know? No. I've seen the Ironmouse video. I've seen it. But what I mean is that like everyone was sucking it off. So like, I guess I don't understand like the sentiment. And again, like Asmongold might be a special case because he has a lot of industry information. But all of a sudden I see a lot of people say, oh yeah, I knew it, guys. I knew it. Like VShojo was bad. I fucking knew it. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't hear any of this. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, and guys, like, before people think I'm shilling for VShojo or anything like that, a person I trust their opinion, there's a person I trust their opinion, and that's Silvervale, and she spoke out against them, so, like, I believe it. Basically, I believe it. If Silvervale says it was bad, then, like, I believe it. You know how I'm that type of person. I'm like, okay, well, let's hear both sides of the story. That's kind of me. But like, I kind of trust that Silvervale saying that it was fucked up, basically. So, yeah. Yeah, it just seems that like out of nowhere, like out of the woodwork, a bunch of Nostradamuses came out. Oh, yeah, you know what? They had this coming. I knew this all along. And I'm like, where the fuck was this like a month ago? Because I feel like everybody was like, oh yeah, we love VShojo so much. Like everybody was like that, you know? You guys want to see something funny? He follows me on Twitter. But yeah, like I had no idea like what was going on. It just feels to me that like out of nowhere, there's and again, like I'm not saying that like nothing happened. Obviously, like I said, I already said it a million times. Like I trust Silvervale, and like what she says, I believe it. Right. I don't really know a lot of the other people, but I think I trust the people I do know. I think I trust like what they're saying like enough to like just be like, well, that it is what it is, right? My point is not that. My point is all of the other people that were kind of simping for VShojo. Like that's all I saw in the VTuber community. It was just like everybody was like sucking them off, and now all of a sudden, yeah, I knew all along that like VShojo was bad. I knew it, guys. I knew it. Like what the fuck? Like where does people come from? That's kind of my that's what I'm saying.
Cooked. Yes, they have been overcooked. They've been in the microwave for too long, and so and you have look at this here. So Vay said, ND bitches. So VShojo, this is Silvervale and Vay left 2 years ago. This was not necessarily, looks like nothing's changed between 2023 and 2025. I still can't say shit because of their god-awful NDA I had to sign. I could. I could say it. Because I know what happened.
What happened?
They can let me know if they want me to say it. I'll say it. I'll say what happened. It'll be no problem. but I'm not going to do it unless people are okay with it. Is VShojo going?
Wait, so he knows stuff. He knows stuff that we don't know. I guess everybody. I guess that makes sense. Like people talk at like the kind of, you know, the fucking G1 streaming, right? People probably talk, right?
To be able to recover from this? In my opinion, abso-fucking-lutely not. Anybody who stays with the org is now going to be seen as being complicit with some sort of, you know, charity embezzlement or whatever people see it as, like effectively scamming and dishonest behavior in the way that charities behave, right? Ironmouse is the one holding it all together. She was. Ironmouse was...
Wait, what? Ludwig got cooked under his "I believe VShojo is a terrorist organization" tweet? Isn't he friends with people that like actual terrorists? God, dude. You know, chat, I don't belong in this industry. I really don't. Like, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Like, what? I think about this all the time. Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I a streamer? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You know,
by far the largest content creator for VShojo by a mile. And so, yes, 100% her leaving does have a very bad negative effect on the entire org. Give me 1 second, sorry.
Well, yeah, because she makes a fuck ton of money. The problem is, like, where this company has, like, nowhere to go. Like, they're fucked. Like, if Ironmouse left and then a bunch of their other big people left, then, like, who pays the bills? Right? Like,
yeah, it has a very, very bad negative effect on everything.
Shai says, I think because you're not like that, it's more special that you are a part of it because you make an example of that you don't have to be like this. You can be kind and supportive. I don't know if people would think that about me, Shai. I appreciate that you think that, but I don't think people would say that about me.
Because she was kind of the she was the face of VShojo, right? Everybody knew her. I mean, it was her and Hinya. Like, let me see who are the other ones that they have on there. Yeah, Hinya's there. I don't recognize a lot of these other girls. I have no idea. But anyway, so and also Hinya, I'm pretty sure left VShojo now at this point also. And let me go back and double check. Oh, Kson has left VShojo. I forgot about her. She's very well known too. And so she not only apparently left VShojo, she left VShojo on stream.
Wait, what?
She just quit. And so,
wait, what do you mean on
because
stream?
he said the Japan side of VShojo is doing well, but still not paying her.
What?
Here's the problem. It's that basically there's a big cultural difference in the way that talent management happens in apparently Japan versus America. In Japan, talent management is seen as much more of an overarching kind of like control mechanism. And in America, there's much more of a focus on individualism.
Yeah, because we're fucking yeehaw Americans and we're all about individualism. Like, fuck it. You know, like we're very, very yeehaw, right? Like, Japan is more about going with the flow and following the orders.
The content creators autonomy.
But I'm sure that makes Americans much more annoying to deal with.
Economy, etc. And so that's obviously a very, very big difference. Now, I personally think that the way that they do it over there is exploitative. I do. I think it's just so blatantly exploitative. I don't see how anybody can defend it, period. And so, yeah, it's just JP said is weird to Kson. Well, I don't know about that at all. It's
the thing is like this is really prevalent too in the VTuber community because the original like kind of in terms of like when VTubing got much more like bigger and became like a powerhouse like in terms of like money making came from a lot of idol culture actually. So like a lot of the idol culture, you see a lot of it like, you know how like they call it like a graduation? That's from idol culture. So a lot of like this Japanese idol culture sort of corporate like idols and their handlers sort of a thing kind of became a big part of VTubing as well. And like you can still see that to this day with like Hololive, right? It kind of runs like a like an idol group, really.
completely exploitative. But anyway, the amount handled by JP was much lower than English. Did you say Japan itself was doing good? Yes, then you haven't paid me.
What?
That's what says in my main company's finance books. So you know the JP talents were not being paid yet. Yes, that's not doing good then. We were doing good. The company was making money. Then it was coming out. And then she says, I quit today. And I was planning on doing it on the 31st, but...
Wait, hold on. So they have a system in which the talents get paid from the company rather than the company taking a cut off the talent. So it's like different. So like usually like the way a lot of like talent agencies work, at least in the West, is what you make is what you make, but your agent takes a cut of that, right? Like off the top. So it's like whatever the amount, they get a percentage of it, right? So wait, so they don't actually get the money when they're when they're with like VShojo, they didn't actually get the money. They got paid directly from the company rather than the company getting paid from them. That's interesting. Okay.
I'm doing it today. This is very wrong. I understand. And so you're telling me you could have paid me? Yes. Then where is the money? So you're telling me you could have paid me? Yes. Where's the money? I gotta go, guys. Oh, jeez, I gotta go. Ooh, would you look at the time? Ah, man. She just straight up quits and she calls the CEO live. Oh my fucking god.
Did you just say that VShojo JP itself was doing good?
そうですね。
In finances too?
そうです。
You haven't paid me.
っていうことになるん
I
です、ね。
guess that's the case.
What?
I
本
guess
社の
that's
中
the
の帳
case.
簿
That's
上
what I
はそうだ
heard
っていうことを。
from the intercompany.
So wait, what happened there? So they're getting money, but they're just not paying the talents? Why would you do this? Okay, let me think. Okay. I have to think about motive and money here. So just okay, hold on. Not paying the talents doesn't make sense. If they're making this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right. So if there's something missing here. The motive doesn't align. It's like, why would you withhold money from the talents? Because the talents would be the last thing you would want to withhold money from, because the talents are the most likely to have any sort of power if they bitch about it. Right? If they can provide receipts and like complain about it, they're the most likely to damage the company. So why would you not pay them? The only thing that makes sense is that they actually had no money. So like, did they overgrow? That's the only thing that makes sense, is that they overgrew the company. They hired too much support staff. They were way too high on support staff. Oh my god, wait, they got investments, right? Chat. VShojo had investment capital, right? I'm pretty sure they did. Let me 11 million, says TV Donut, in 2022. Okay, so they get the investment money. They use it to fast expand. So they spend all the money on upgrading and hiring more people so that they can expand more in order to grow the company to a point that they're making way more money. They can pay back, well, not they can pay back the investment, but they use it to jumpstart, but then they overgrow, basically. Like, possibly they overgrow the company. They hire too much support staff. They do too many, what do you call it? Too many vanity purchases, like, I don't know, like ads or something like that. Too many upgrades. And then the whole thing collapses because they're not actually making enough money for all of the staff that they hired, but they didn't want to fire anybody. But then why would you shaft the talents? That seems like such a bad idea. That just seems like a bad plan. Like, to shaft the talents out of money, and then you Thank you for the follow. Thank you. And Chopar, thank you for the bits. Thank you. They also had a new gen coming with new talent. They canceled debut themselves. It just seems like really bad, right? Like, yeah, full timers is contract. Well, like, staffing is really expensive. You can't like be overzealous with like your hiring of support. Oh, that's true, Average Joe. That's actually true. What Average Joe said is legally the employees come ahead of the talents. That's true because they can more immediately take legal action. So they had no choice. So they overhired. Oh my God, they're a California company too, aren't they? Oh shit, they're in San Francisco. Holy fuck. Yeah, then they have to deal with all the California labor laws, so they can't even like fire them very easily. Oh my God. Legal Mindset has a good video on the legal stuff. Okay, I'll take a look at that.
Situation.
After this. But yeah, that's my guess is that basically they got stuck with some kind of labor laws, which made it like hard for them to fire people, and then they basically, yes. Oh, you sent it to me. Should I watch that one first? Do you guys want to watch the legal? Why don't we finish like this Kson thing, and then we'll go watch the Legal Mindset video, because I'm actually more interested in the business side of things. Like I want to like understand like why this happened, and like I guess like my speculation would be like they got investments, and the investment made them bold, which like it should, honestly. Like that's a smart thing to do, is like if you get investment, you like basically use the investment to super buff yourself so that you can get really huge, and then like you know eventually like since you're super huge, your income becomes super huge, and then you're fine, right? But then if you miscalculate that curve, you overhire, and then the income doesn't like rise to meet that, then you get stuck basically. And that might have been what happened, is they got stuck, and then the money dried up, and then they couldn't really adjust very well because they're in California. They had to deal with like California labor laws and like prices and wages. It's like basically everyone's getting paid too much, or maybe even the C-suite was paying themselves too much, or maybe they suck. I don't know. It's also a possibility, right? And then they put themselves in a position where they have to garnish the wages from talents because they can't legally do it to the employees. That's crazy. That actually makes a lot of sense as to like what happened. But we'll watch the Legal Mindset video after this. Thank you, Base Slow Boy, for the sub. Thank you. Didn't VShojo raise 11 million? How do you burn through that so fast to the point that you embezzle charity funds? It makes perfect sense to me, actually, Base Slow Boy, because the thing is 11 million sounds like a lot, but when it comes to like a corporation as big as VShojo is, that's running like massive ads, they're doing massive like merchandise partnerships with like huge Japanese companies, right? They're doing all these sorts of like events. They're getting like, the most like top of the line expensive things, right? And then you use that 11 million to hire a fuck ton of people, again, to catapult your business. But then you miss the curve, right? So like what happens is you think that the growth is going to look like this, but it's actually not that high. And then you fucking miss it. And then now you're kind of stuck, and now you're draining money out, right? And it's possible they already used all of that 11 million on like vanity things. Like they did like an ad campaign, right? Like in Japan. Those ad campaigns couldn't have been cheap. If they were in like a good like station, like I don't know, like Tokyo Station or something like that, there's no fucking way that they would be able to do that for a low price. Like, you guys, ads are really fucking expensive. Really expensive. Like in like high traffic areas, those like visual ads they're so expensive. Yeah.
でもタレントに1円も払われてない状態っ
But you didn't pay the talents any money.
ていうのを把握して
You
おられ
realize
た
that,
んでしょうか。
そうです。
Wait, when they got loaned 11? Wait, was it loaned 11 or raised 11? Yeah, because they're different. Was it investor 11 million or was it a loan 11 million? I think it was a loan. Hold on. No. It was investment capital apparently. 11 million in seed funding round in March 2022. Anthos Capital, GFR Fund, and Green Bay Ventures. Additional ventures include under code XRM Media. Yeah, apparently. So.
That's right. Yes. So he just didn't.
She's talking to the Japanese CEO. What? Hold on. Okay. She's talking to the CEO. Okay, got it.
I guess
Understand.
that's the case. I guess that's the case. That's what I heard from the intercompany situation.
Wait, so hold on. How did she get... Wait. You're telling me she asked the CEO, hey, come on my stream and talk to me about this drama? And he just said yes? Probably tricked him, so he didn't know, he didn't know she was live? But, like, can't you just check that? Can't you just check that? Like, that's kind of weird, you know? Like, I don't know. He knew? People are saying he knew?
日本、でもタレントに1円も払われてない状態
But you didn't pay the talents any money.
っていうのを把握して
You
おら
realize
れ
that,
たんで
right?
しょうか
そうです。
That's
はい
right. Yes.
Dude, is it just me, or does this person have, like, the most appropriate avatar for this situation? It's actually, like, it's actually insane. Like, this Fugi is, like, so perfect. Like...
So he just didn't. Yes, that's correct. I didn't pay any money. This doesn't seem very good at all.
そう資金的にうまくいっ
I don't think it's going well.
てないのでは
入ってくるお金と出
If
てい
you
くお
only
金
look at the numbers,
の
money
数字
coming
の
in
み
and
を
money
見たら
going out,
日本の支部っていうのは
the JP branch
うまくやって
we're
いたって
doing
ことで
well.
すね。
Yeah,
出ていこう
money coming in and
So wait, okay, but you know what? You know what that means? Though? That doesn't mean that the NA branch was doing well. So it's possible that... Oh my god, were they taking money from the JP branch to pay for the EN branch?
money going out.
来たお金
Wow.
Oh god.
I quit
This is
VShojo
crazy.
today
はい。
VShojo やめます今日
はい。
はい31日
He just said like, okay, wait, what? He's just like, wait, this can't be real. Wait, what? Hold on. I mean, I don't know. This might be like some Japanese business like etiquette I don't know about, but like, I feel like, wouldn't you be like, we can negotiate this or something? You're losing like one of your bigger talents. Like, why would you just be like, okay?
予定だったけど今日やめます
She just leaves this shit live. Like she's like, okay. So what I find to be really interesting about
There's nothing to negotiate. I mean, I guess you could try to explain it at least. Like, why would you like if you're the CEO? Why would you just be like, yeah, we're doing good, but yeah, we didn't pay you. Like there's like no.
this is the fact that she was already going to leave. So
Oh, she
this
was
was
already
going
going to leave.
to
Okay, got
happen
it.
before Ironmouse even came out with anything. This place was already imploding to begin with, and now people are finally realizing it.
She hasn't been paid since September from wait, what? So she's been living off of saving? Like, wait, hold on. This doesn't make sense. Not getting paid. Hold on. I guess she would have had a lot of money. She would have had a lot of from merch sales. Only merch sales. Okay, that's completely different. That's completely different. If it's only merch sales, it's completely different.
I quit.
I
This
quit.
is very wrong. Very, very wrong.
Yeah.
You're telling me that VShojo JP was doing good? Looked like, at least.
Yes.
Doing good.
Yes.
払っていたとしても、
Even if we
ペースに払って
paid
い
you
たと
based
しても
on the calculations, we'd still be fine.
Wait,
Why
why
would
would
you
you-
say that?
I literally had the same fucking like track of mind that like
we paid you based on the calculations, we'd still be fine. Why would you say that? You've got to come up with like an excuse of like, oh, well, we couldn't do it for like an accounting reason, or like we wanted to have like a different valuation of the company and the accounting statements wouldn't look the right way. Like you had to like, you're not supposed to actually just go out and say that, right? I mean, oh yeah, we could have paid you, it would have been fine.
You could have paid me?
That's right.
Then where is it?
Where's the money?
I want it now.
Where's the money?
Why would you say this?
Where's the money? Where is it? Hello?
Did you just die? What?
Yeah.
Yes, he did just die. Guys, I can't respond to that. I'm dead.
Money.
Play dead.
Bro,
払えたかもしれないっていうか
this is some rat shit.
そうですね。
Oh my
JP のタレント
God.
って私だけじゃないんですけれども。
はい。
Where's the money?
財
Yeah,
布が一緒になっていた
because
ん
all the
で、
funds were the
そ
same.
の
はい。
私が見えるのは、そ
All
の
I can
財布
see
の
is
全体ではな
that
く、
not the
入
whole
ってく
company
るお金
funds,
と
money
出てい
coming
く
in
お
and going
金。
out.
でもその財布
So
に入
you're
って
the
たお金
CEO
は
and you
本
didn't know
来タレ
that?
ントに払う
It's supposed
額
to
の
pay
お
for
金でした。
talent.
So like was like was NA siphoning the money? Like there was like a mismanagement on the NA side, and then they siphoned money from JP side to pay for it.
よね
This is so
Yes.
weird. What?
何言ってるか分かんな
I
い
don't
ですけど
understand what you're
ちょっと
saying.
それは
Let's
置い
keep
とい
that
て
aside. Oh my God. What a
Yeah,
what
what
a
the
ridiculous fucking company. Well, that's what they get. That's what they get. You want to run a company and you want to take advantage of people and you want to do all this bullshit. That's what you fucking get. You get
Yep.
what you deserve. And that's the way it goes, guys. And who cares? They're VTubers. Oh, I definitely care. And I think everybody should care.
Wait, what did-
VTubers. And who cares?
What did the commenters say?
Fucking get. You get what you deserve.
What did the
And that's the
commenters
way
say,
it
like-
goes, guys. And who cares? They're VTubers. Oh,
The fucking commenter was, "Who cares? They're VTuber." What kind of fucking argument is that? You know, there's like people, like actual people behind VTubers, right? Like what a retarded comment. Like what the. They're very anti VTuber. Whatever, man. All right, here we go. Anime racists are everywhere. True. The oppressed anime people, right, guys? All right. Sorry, I'm gonna switch over to the legal mindset video because I'm interested in the business side of things. Like, I want to know what's going on with the business stuff. So we're gonna do a little switcheroo, and then I'll link all the videos at the end.
The bankruptcy of VShojo is inevitable. At this point, all signs are pointing to insolvency. So today we're going to go over the bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's true. Like, hold on. That's really bad. Can't they just claim bankruptcy? I guess he'll probably go through it, but like, yeah, can't they just claim bankruptcy and then not pay anyone?
process and exactly what it's going to look like and how it's going
Man,
to.
that's crazy though. If you think about it though, like everybody in like, and I don't mean like the talents, but like, dude, a lot of the people at VShojo were like super big dick about like VShojo. So like, dude, what's gonna happen? Like, all of that like VIP treatment's fucking gone. You know what I mean? Like for the CEO too, right? Like I'm sure like he you know, he kind of was like a big deal, right? Now he's just like fucking nothing, right? That's crazy.
affect VShojo. Of course, this is the Legal Minds where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a fast facts, quick and dirty version of the legal education and news that gets best to you as quickly as possible. So smash a like and leave a comment if you like the fast facts versions. Now, getting into this, we've been covering the breakup of VShojo as has happened and been covered by many channels. But one thing that I've said quickly, and I think I was probably the first person to point this out,
Has
is that
he like said
bankruptcy
anything yet? Hold on, has he posted anything? Ooh, the last thing he posted was the new music project, the VShojo Nova was the last thing. Like songs and everything, like figures. Man, they had like freaking figures and stuff. Man, it's so much merch. Man, that's crazy.
Is the way that this is going to wind up. As we're seeing things play out, as people are speaking out, it's very, very clear looking at the roster, looking at the fact that
The problem
there's
is it's literally absolutely there's like no recovery possible, because let's assume that they are, and like, you know, they're already having trouble paying people. Well, they're really not paying people now, because all of their talents like left. They're probably out a fuck ton of merch that they had previously. Like, no one's gonna fucking buy it, right? So they're out of that, and then any sort of possible like revenue is gone. So there's literally no way to recover. Like, literally no way. It's like 100% over.
no talent left. This is a list as of today. All of the red people are confirmed to have left. So Zentraya, Ironmouse, Project Melody, Hime, Kson, Haruka, Henya, Giga, Kuro.
Wait, so you're telling me that there's one person that's staying? How did I know? No, they're not. Okay.
Matara, Michi, everybody here. Hestia, Yutori, Okamoto, Amelie. Everybody is essentially out. Then we've got people.
Show them the meme. This is a pretty good meme. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Left earlier, like Bebe, Silverbill, and Aminia. And then Fruit is the only one that's left that even is, you know, not made an official announcement, but she's removed VShojo from her profile. So she's expected to leave. So at this point, they have
I can't say it.
absolutely no profit generation. There is no way that there's any income coming in. And at that point, for any company, you are insolvent. If you were already having problems when all of your creators were at their maximum revenue generation and you still were not profitable, there's no way to be profitable with no revenue coming in. It's a simple 1 + 1, and there really is no other way around that. Now, we're also seeing the scope of this debt. And even as of a while ago, this is not even totally current, but this is very recent here in 2025. You're seeing that they are about 2 million deep in loans and in what they owe to talent. $2 million. There's no digging out of that. There's no going in and asking for another loan to bail them out when they've got no one working for them. This is leading to insolvency. And what happens in insolvency? Well, naturally, it would be a bankruptcy. That is the natural thing for a company to do, particularly when they are buried by claims, when they're going to be buried by lawsuits, when they're going to be buried by obligations and unpaid wages.
Dude,
you're going to have to turn to bankruptcy. So what does the bank?
There's a lot of people. Man, dude, that's a lot of people that's going to be going after them. Holy shit. And the thing is with a lot of like these kind of cases too, is your stamina is equal to money. And like, dude, they have like none left. So I don't even know how they fight this in court, honestly.
Bankruptcy process actually
it's
looks
just
like.
fun.
Many people are not familiar with it or only know it in a personal context. We're going to talk about it in a corporate context today. So what that actually looks like is either reorganization or liquidation. Now we're talking about personal bankruptcy. There's different chapters we're not talking about personal bankruptcy. We're talking about corporate bankruptcy. For personal bankruptcy, you might be familiar with that. There's also municipal bankruptcy, and there's other sorts of bankruptcies that are in the bankruptcy code. But in this specifically, there's two.
Dude, you know what's crazy though? Like, I did not think anything could blow up like more than freaking Niji Sanjay. This is actually impressive.
That would apply, either chapter 7 or chapter 11. And I'm going to explain the difference. The difference is really between reorganization or liquidation. Chapter 11 is reorganization. This is for companies that have a chance. So you're saying there's
no chance.
of
Zero.
recovery and profitability.
Nope.
So if that company can get back to making money, then it can be reorganized. And you can say, hey, look, let's restructure
no
this.
shot.
Let's,
Their reputation cooked, trust cooked, loss of all talents. They have nothing. There's no way. It's like literally 0% chance.
Change the terms of some debt.
It is as close. It is as close to certain as possible.
Maybe trim some fat off the company, and let's get this thing going. However, chapter 7 is for those that really
Julio says, but they have fruit. She left, right? She left, right?
realistically cannot reorganize or return to profitability. Chapter 7 is way faster, cheaper, and handled in months versus years for Chapter 11. And in Chapter 7, a trustee takes over versus Chapter 11 with existing management. So looking at all these factors, it's very clear it's going to be Chapter 7. They're also a mainly service-oriented company. They don't have heavy in products or assets. And if you think about it, the only real assets, the big assets that a VTuber company would normally have are the models. And like it or not, I mean, at the end of the day, they are an asset. They could be sold to somebody to be skinwalked by some other person, right? And of course, the VTuber community would absolutely not accept.
But they don't even have that, though. Wait, they probably don't even have that as an asset. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard because like VShojo, a lot of the times they sucked in people. They didn't actually, right? Like they don't have a lot of original characters, right? So it's kind of like the IPs are owned by the talent, so they don't even have that. Yeah.
That's deplorable in the general culture of the VTubing community. But technically, from a legal standpoint, it is an asset. Intellectual property right is an asset. So they could sell those assets, except for they don't own those assets.
Yeah.
Because the creators own their own IP, there really isn't much to sell. They probably don't own more than a couple of staplers and some desks. I mean, that's probably all they really have is some office stuff to liquidate. And that's probably about it. They've probably got a lot of liabilities, but nothing to really offset that in significant assets. Yep. They weren't investing in real estate. They didn't have any heavy machinery. There's nothing that they could actually.
They weren't investing in UMAs like us, right, chat? See, we're already smarter because we invested in UMAs at least.
Turn over and sell like a fleet of trucks or cars. So what we're seeing here is going to be Chapter 7. It's going to be a liquidation. There's no way they're going to want to put the existing management, which has been a failure for the past years, and we're talking years, they've been failing in profitability. They're not going to say, hey, you guys can totally turn this around. We're going to give you a chance. There's no chance of that. I think the judge is going to look at it as this and say, nope, it's definitely going to be Chapter 7. You guys are clearly down that lane. So let's go down the lane of Chapter 7. What's the process for that? So if you
thanks for the bits, Ragnar. Talent freedom, as in talents were free. True.
JoJo's got to submit a petition for bankruptcy. Now we haven't seen this yet.
Though I'm really interested to see what their response is going to be. Do you think they're going to have a response, or you think they're just going to be like, fuck it? They're just going to be like, fuck it. Like, we're just not even going to say anything.
As soon as this gets filed, I'm sure we're going to report in it. I'll report in it. I'll let you guys know. But we're going to see a submission of a petition for bankruptcy. When they submit that, they're going to also have to list all their assets, liabilities, their income, expenditures, contracts, leases. And this is going to be very interesting because that's when we're going to get the truth. How deep in financial hot water was VShojo? That is going to be a spicy meatball that I think all the people in the VTuber community, drama tubers and otherwise, everybody, right?
That's me.
Is going to sink into and really analyze. And that's going to be an absolute bombshell to see exactly how bad they were performing over the past. And I think that's also instructive for future corporations to not have such ridiculous predictions for profitability. Now, what would happen is after they do that list, they submit all the petition, they're going to get it turned over to a bankruptcy trustee. So the bankruptcy trustee is going to take control of everything. They're going to take all the assets, and their job is to liquidate those assets and distribute them to creditors. So taking anything they have of worth and distributing it. But there's an order. At the top of the list are secured creditors. So anybody who has a secured loan or a mortgage, etc. And then there's unsecured, and that's everybody else, including people like talents. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't mention there is an exemption which might give them as prospective independent contractors priority status over other claims. That might be possible. It may be possible they will cover
Yeah, but it's kind of like you said earlier, like what do they even have?
some money. Maybe. However, it ain't going to be much. And it certainly won't be enough to satisfy all the obligations, particularly the massive charity obligation. So that's going to be something that's looming out there, and that's going to be something that the trustee is going to have to deal with. Now, another big question that people have asked is about NDAs. And I want to clarify this because I have said on certain media, et cetera, that yes, the NDAs are going to be, at some point, they're going to be able to speak up. They're going to be able to talk. But there's some legal distinction here. And I want to be very clear because this is something that is kind of a legal, not a gray area, but it's the difference between the law technically and the practical reality. So in the law, technically a bankruptcy only discharges financial obligations, and an NDA is a non-financial obligation. So it's an obligation of confidentiality. So technically, an NDA is not gotten rid of by bankruptcy. Bankruptcy does not void NDAs in and of itself. However, it's practically either difficult or almost impossible to enforce NDAs afterwards. Certainly impracticable. Like you cannot actually, in reality and practice, go and enforce these things. Why? Well, first of all, the legal priority is given to satisfying the...
So basically, hold on. So basically, the idea is that once these NDAs are lifted, it's fucking over. That's when the real shots are gonna fire, right? At
creditors
that point.
to satisfying the outstanding debts. It's not given to, hey, we're going to allow you all this funding. We're going to allow you to use all this money to go chase people down and enforce NDAs. That's not given a top priority on the list of things, particularly by the bankruptcy trustee. Further, it's just the lack of funds. They're not going to possess enough funds to enforce all these NDAs and go out and sue everybody and their mother. And everybody and their mother is actually not a just tongue-in-cheek statement. They literally made Silvervale's mother sign an NDA. We're going to talk about that on my next live. But
what? They made Silvervale's mom sign an NDA? What, was she aware of some kind of what?
Those NDAs, they're not going to have the funds. It costs money. It's not free to go enforce those NDAs. Also, the last thing is, this is something the court can take into effect, is that it's an unfair benefit to the company, particularly given the company's track record, particularly given that the company was using the NDAs to silence people from speaking about legitimate workplace grievances. And I've already talked about the fact that certain law, like California law and other laws, may actually allow them to speak.
Yeah, they're in California, right? They're out of San Francisco.
Speak up on those NDAs, particularly as it relates to workplace grievances. That's completely separate from the bankruptcy process. So there may be ways for them, and there likely are ways for them to speak up about those NDAs despite the bankruptcy process, etc. But beyond that, it would be wholly unjust to allow VShojo, which essentially kept them from making money for some of them up to a year, even more than a year. There's records of them not paying people back now and accounts of them not paying back in 2023, way back in the day. So they're not going to say, hey, look, we're going to allow you to keep, to silence these people in the fact that you screwed them out of money. You shafted them for multiple years and in a massive amount. I mean, we saw 2 million was that amount.
Honestly, you could, I don't know how true this is, but I almost feel like every individual that ever supported them can also sue. I think so. I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know, but it feels to me that like, if you bought something thinking that the money was going to like a talent that you care about, and then it actually wasn't, then like, can't you sue them for that? I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb.
Projected there. Let's say that half of that is loans and half of that is talent. Say it's 1 million in loans and 1 million in talent. That's just me spitballing and guessing. Yeah, that doesn't look good. That does not look good with that amount of outstanding debt. So I do think there's going to be a point at which practically they'll be able to speak out, they'll be able to talk up, and I will caution all of the talents to consult with their individual lawyers when their individual lawyer that is representing them, not me, but their lawyer representing them, tells them they can speak up. Do it, right? Do it. When their lawyer tells them do it. And I think that day will come sooner than later. So everyone, please be patient. Let the process play out. Let the legal process happen. The best thing you can do is to support your creators. And it's so lovely that we had Ironmouse.
It's like 2025, like the freaking is this streamer law arc? It's like the Phoenix Wright arc of streaming.
Breaking record. She's going to get to probably 1 million on her IDF fundraiser on Tilify. Absolutely great. That thing shot up overnight, and we're seeing some silver lining to a very bad situation. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next.
Man. She broke way past 1 million already. He was doing a ton of VTuber videos back when Niji thing was happening. Yeah, it's crazy. There's like, man, there's always like so much. The VTubing world has been very full of drama, man. Show them the other meme. What is this meme? VShojo intern after donating to the wrong IDF. I get it. I get it.